Hello Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and North Node. This is your weekly reading for the week of September 8th through to the 14th. Let's dive in. So you guys have a little bit of ease off of your character, your emotional sense of self, your sense of your direction of your soul, how much you guys are coming into yourself from a place of self-support. Pluto has retrograded back into your 12th house, so whether you are an Aquarius rising or sun, you will still feel this energy. We have strength, yes, and the Magician. You see all these ones. It's like you're resetting how much you love yourself, how much you come into alignment just because you're you, because you decide that you're in alignment. It's simply a decision that you all have to make, as Pluto is in your 12th house, but it represents the vibration of 8, represented by Saturn, discussed in both Linda Goodman's Love Signs and Sensei Christopher Witecki's Step System. So in understanding the vibration of a decision and choosing strength and magic over weakness or susceptibility to being disenchanted and or unhappy with what's presented to you, you're deciding to alchemize this energy and assert yourselves. Be authentic. That's the guidance for this week. I would say that these are the major arcana cards. This is the High Priestess. So I love that it's 3 ones and then a number 2. And Aquarius, it just feels like you guys have your feelings in order. You know how you feel. And as Uranus has gone retrograde in Taurus, it will be at 27 all week. The actions that you're taking, I would say that you're able to reflect on them. You're able to reflect on how you've come to support yourself through your feelings and to be there for yourself, to comfort yourself, to align yourself to the body. Maybe you've had and stored emotions in your physical vessel for so long, and you're finding ways, whether you're working with fascia, you're journaling with morning pages, you're taking yourself for walks or swims, you're finding a way to get these emotions out. Another major arcana, we have the Lovers. This is a big week of profound change for you all. And I sense it's just because of the major players impacting you are retrograde. Thank goodness for that. The only planets that are direct is Cancer and Mars. So that is your 6th house of everyday life. And it feels like as we're in Virgo season, which represents your 8th house of depth, partnerships, intimacy, sex, it's all coming up to the surface of how you nurture yourself and handle yourself emotionally in daily life. We have the, 5th card. This is the 3 of Air. So you guys are healing from a very tender space. And that would just be the one divot in this week of like, that will either keep you stuck in the mud or allow for someone to come along and tow you, or maybe even your car is just able to get out of the mud at a very specific angle. I have a very, very fond memory, 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck for you guys, of coming out of the mud. I'm going to use that for the Strength card. It feels like your strength in community. I had a memory of going camping with someone who was just a horrible partner, but reflecting how I allowed for people to walk all over me at a point in my life. And we had gone camping with a group. In my community, this one woman who encouraged me to drive my own car up the hill allowed for me to actually achieve that. So the Daughter of Discs came up with the Magician. It feels like your feminine creative force is sending out signals and also receiving transmissions that will allow for you to stand tall in yourself. We have, oh my gosh, the High Priestess with the High Priestess. So this is either you or someone whose energy you're coming across. I love this for you guys. I love the Mother Peace Tarot. And there is that white triangle pointing upwards for the symbol of air. And it looks like she has on the headpiece of Hathor. So there's some Venusian energy. I would say that that representing your 9th house with Venus, Black Moon Lilith, and the South Node in the sign of Libra, as well as some minor asteroids. We will have an opportunity to really come into a self-love belief. Daughter of Swords with the Lovers. So there might be someone who you're interested in. You might have a daughter who's learning to speak. You might be interested in someone and getting closer to them by learning how to communicate effectively these emotions that you've been nurturing and that you've been accepting and allowing to exist, because what is life without our feelings? If we were feelingless, we would be just like AI that's going to be developed over the next like 10 to 15 years. It may not take as long for us to anthropomorphize artificial intelligence, but we have our emotions for a reason. There are, as I'm working with AI more closely, there are conclusions that we are able to draw as humans from having experiences. So for me, I've been working on a script and I've been using AI to sort of help me along with where I have roadblocks, where I haven't been able to get past. But I also know that that's just a crutch. It's not the answer. The answer for me is the intuitive messages that come in of movies to watch. And then I look those up because I'm like, I may not need to watch this movie, and finding out which plays or which books they're based on, and understanding that my reading those in alignment with the astrology, there's just a formula that the human brain follows that is very divine. And artificial intelligence is something that exists very much separately from humanity. It's just like the concept of math. We didn't invent math, we just discovered it. We didn't invent America, we just discovered the United States, or the, what's it called? Honu Islands. It's in the Mana deck, they speak to it, these islands being like the turtle islands. So there's just so much that we have to experience firsthand that cannot be replicated or destroyed by any form of intelligence, either other than the third eye being open. With the Three of Air, we have the Seven of Discs. So there's a pregnant lady with some watermelons in there. You guys might be feeling sadness over something that you're waiting for. Maybe it's a baby. Maybe you're feeling sad because you don't have, you know, the hormonal regulation that you're used to. Or maybe, you know, if any of you all have suffered a miscarriage, my heart goes out to you. I've had that experience and it's not pleasant, it's painful, but there's so much to be healed. So let's look at the healing waters for a bit of guidance there. Yeah, there is a great sadness. Take time to heal the need to forgive yourself or others. I wish I had my, what's it called, metaphysical anatomy book, because it does go into miscarriage and it speaks to maybe one parent or another parent not being ready to have a child. So we have for this the water carrier, what really matters, reflect and reprioritize, and follow the stream, dedication, trust, future rivers and oceans. So perhaps there is a level of acclimation that needs to be had before we can heal, before we can recover from a great sadness that may have taken place. And it is giving that we're going to have strength in our community. So even if your community is online, if you find a mother's group, if you find an online therapist, or you're able to speak to a loved, trusted friend, not an acquaintance, not a client, but someone who really can connect with you. Maybe you have someone who you work with, a professional life coach, a professional therapist, even me, to where it's like you get your journal out and you write about your experiences and you become your own sense of authority. The Daughter of Discs and the Magician would speak to that. You learning to intuit the symbols and the signs that you're feeling from what it is that you're processing in your daily life. Whatever catches your attention is the reflection that you're seeking to attune to. So you notice how not everything catches our attention. You could put 5 people in the same setting and situation, and maybe that 100th chimp theory will click into where people will all sort of hive mind focus. But if you allow for people as individuals to be in that same space, they would gravitate towards different things because it's about what's inside. We have Green Tara, Salvation. Beautiful. Yeah, maybe there's some resetting that's going on within you. And maybe this Black Moon Lilith at 7 degrees this week is speaking to the Seven of Discs, to where it's like you've had sadness about what hasn't worked out in the past. Maybe there's still some recovery needed if you haven't had a miscarriage or you don't know anyone who's had one. And Green Tara is saying that there's salvation from following the stream with dedication, trust of what is to come, And the water carrier, focusing on what really matters, reflecting and reprioritizing. All right, so let's see what Green Tara has to say. The divine has intended you into being and given you the assignment to explore life through certain perceived limitations. You are meant to learn about life and all its complexities, especially learning about how to be in community with others. I love that, because we have that you will get strength from your community this week. Green Tara, a Tibetan goddess also known as She Who Saves, says that you will never be alone in life's journey. This compassionate savior goddess of intimate friendship will ensure that the right people will show up for you at the right time. Green Tara reminds you that your needs will always be met. You don't need to know the how, as that is her domain. You just need to trust, which follow the stream speaks to trusting. And the goddess Green Tara will use her magic on your behalf. You are safe and secure and always in the care of the divine. One thing I want to say about trusting is, like, it's an empowered perspective. Gary of Human Garage spoke to this. Hoping is a victim perspective, because if you think about, oh, I hope I'll make my rent this month, it implies that you're not showing up for yourself in some way, shape, or form. If you trust you will make your rent this month, you are receiving clients, you are balancing your expenses, you are making sure that you're not overspending. There are ways to understand how trust works and how hope works from this perspective, hopefully for you guys. And it just feels like Green Tara is going to assure that your resume gets boosted to the top of the line if you're applying for jobs, that maybe you have a place to crash or call home if that's coming up for you, because Mercury is direct, but it's not out of shadow. And Uranus is stationed retrograde in your 4th house of home and your emotional foundation. If you're going through a breakup of some kind, you may find that things don't have to be such a hasty ending, and maybe you have shared assets and you can trust that they'll be divided fairly, and that you may not have to proceed with legal action if you guys are able to both approach any great sadness from this shared community, the sense of being in community with another person who may not be making it to the final round of your romantic chapter with them. Final round being something to where it would culminate into marriage, or culminate into what the 10 of Cups can be, which I love that the Mother Peace Tarot is showing something else. It's showing community. It's showing a bunch of people who've shown up to fill their cups to overflow. And there's a double rainbow. It's not just about a happy home life. It's about a happy, healthy community. So there's perspective. Aquarius, thank you so much for tuning into your message for the week ahead. Go on ahead and leave me a comment. To those of you just checking this out to watch Aquarius's message, hit the bell and subscribe so that you're notified for the weekly updates I give and the week ahead astrology forecast that I give. Join me for the 10-day Miracle Maker course. We stalled a bit, but we will resume because there's so much happening as a result of these intentions. I hope you're feeling it too. And if not, just know that this is a potent moment to manifest something that you could live without. It would be great if you got it, but you're not sure exactly how to start. Until next time, Aquarius, aloha.